All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a productivity hack that feels super modern. But get this, it's actually a secret that's almost 1,000 years old. Yeah, you heard that right. So get ready to completely rethink how you plan your day.
So let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest. Is your to-do list actually making you put things off? You know, the very thing that's supposed to make you productive. It sounds crazy, but it might be true.
Okay, so let's start with what we all know and, well, what we all use. The good old to-do list. We're going to talk about what I call the tyranny of the to-do.
I mean, we all know the drill, right? You write down all your tasks for the day, buy groceries, prepare dinner, read a chapter, whatever it is. And let's be real, that feeling of checking something off the list, it's just so satisfying. But here's the hidden problem, the reason that satisfaction doesn't always last. A to-do list tells you what to do, sure, but it gives you absolutely no clue about when to do it. And that little gap, that's where procrastination lives. It's like an open invitation to say, I'll do it later. And we all know what happens to later. So, to fight this exact problem, a so-called new method came along called timeboxing. And trust me, it's all about building a much, much stronger framework for your day.
So what is it? Well, the idea is actually pretty simple, but it's a total game changer. Time boxing is the practice of assigning a specific block of time in your schedule to every single thing you need to do. Think of your day not as a list, but as a series of empty boxes you have to fill.
And this is the key difference, right here. A to-do list is vague. It's, I'll do this sometime today. But time boxing, it's specific. It's from 3 to 3:30, I'm doing this. See the difference? One encourages delay, the other creates a real sense of urgency. It's about focusing on when, not just what.
All right, so this whole time boxing thing sounds super modern, right? Like something a Silicon Valley CEO came up with last year. Well, this is where the story gets really, really interesting.
You'd think it's a revolutionary idea from, the 20th century, designed to help us deal with our crazy, busy lives. But what if I told you it's not from the 20th century? What if it's from the 11th century? Yeah, you heard me, nearly 1,000 years ago.
This is the 11th century scholar Imam Al-Ghazali. And in his book, The Beginning of Guidance, he basically lays out the entire philosophy of time blocking. He wrote, you should assign for each time a specific task that you do not exceed, nor do you prioritize anything else over it. I mean, that's it right there. Do that one thing in its assigned time and nothing else. And he had this incredible promise. He said that if you do this, the blessing of your time will become apparent. He argued that if you just leave your time unplanned, it's like a bunch of roaming animals. It just gets lost. But when you give every single moment a job, that's when you unlock its real power. So this ancient wisdom is all about focusing on one thing at a time. But what about that thing we all love to brag about? You know the one. Let's talk about the great multitasking myth.
It's the badge of honor we all claim, especially in a job interview, right? Oh yeah, I am a great multitasker. We say it like it's a superpower. But here's the thing. Modern science says it's basically an illusion. In fact, studies show that trying to do multiple complex things at once doesn't make you more productive. It absolutely tanks your productivity. Your output can drop significantly. What's really happening is your brain is just switching back and forth really, really fast. And every single one of those switches costs you focus and energy. Because here's the bottom line. Our brains just aren't built for it. The quality of your work goes down. You can't get into that state of deep, innovative thinking. Your overall productivity plummets. And maybe worst of all, it can lead to serious mental exhaustion, burnout, and even contribute to depression.
Okay, so should we just abandon multitasking forever? Well, not necessarily. There's actually a smarter way to do it. And yep, you guessed it, the answer comes from looking back in time again. So here's the key. There's harmful multitasking and helpful multitasking. Harmful is trying to do two things that both require brain power, like writing an email while you're in a virtual meeting. It's a recipe for disaster. But helpful multitasking, that's when you pair a mental task with a totally mindless physical one. Think listening to a lecture while you're sharpening pencils. There's no mental conflict there. That's just being efficient.
And again, this is not a new idea. The scholar Ibn al-Jawzi had this down pat. He would be writing and studying, but he saved the mindless jobs, like sharpening his pens, for when guests came over. That way he could have a deep conversation and still be getting something simple and physical done. Brilliant, right?
So what does all this come down to? What's the thread connecting all of this? It's about a huge shift in how we think about our most precious currency, our time.
And Imam Al-Ghazali said it best. Your time is your life, and your life is your capital. Every single breath is a priceless jewel. Wow. Just think about that. Time isn't just something to pass. It's the capital you have to build your life. Every single moment is a jewel.
So here's your action plan. It's simple. 1. Ditch that old to-do list for a time-box schedule. 2. Stop doing the kind of multitasking that just splits your brain in two. 3. Embrace that healthy multitasking. Pair a mental task with a physical one. And 4, the most important one, start viewing every single moment as a priceless investment.
So I'll leave you with this question. Your time is your capital. Knowing that every breath is a priceless jewel, how are you going to invest your currency?